Battlefield 6 was the best-selling game of 2025, but that didn't stop EA from laying off an unidentified number of employees today. Uh, the report is really filling a lot of people with frustration, as it's further proof that there just isn't a successful enough game for the video game industry right now. And a lot of people want to blame capitalism, and that's understandable. However, I want to point out that this is very strictly Western capitalism at its worst. So if you look at companies like Nintendo and Capcom, they're both very shrewd businesses, and their business tactics don't always make people happy. But one thing that you can point out about both of these companies and several other of the Japanese developers is that they retain their employees. And that's the major difference. Unfortunately, companies in the West don't seem to care about the people that are developing their video games. This has been a problem for a long time, but it's been especially true over the last few years as development costs have ballooned. Basically, we have games that cost way too much money, and we have studios that set really high expectations that are just completely unachievable for teams. Battlefield was the best-selling game last year. I need to repeat that. It's preposterous that the teams are now being punished, essentially, for the game not meeting some arbitrary quota. And when you look at games like Resident Evil Requiem, which has sold 5 million copies, the reason that those games are successful is because Capcom has retained the talent and it's benefited them in the long run. And unfortunately, CEOs of Western companies, and this is not just video game companies, mind you, this is all companies. This is anybody that owns a newspaper or a website. They don't care about retaining, their audience, and they don't care about employees passing on their skills to other people. You look at a company like Nintendo, right? Back in the early 2010s, when the Wii U was a massive failure, President Satoru Iwata was asked about whether or not Nintendo would end up having mass layoffs to offset the problems of the company. And Iwata explicitly told the shareholders that they would not be doing that because they needed those developers to make great games. And what happened? The Switch was a massive success. And I wish so much that Western developers and publishers would finally start to understand this.